good chilly morning to you, 6:30, and yes, that is a negative sign in front of your temperature if you're checking this morning. Coming up, Matt is going to fill us in on when this cold snap will break and how pipes are already freezing around the area. Find out how to keep this from happening in your own home.
While road conditions are improving out there, it's still pretty slick. I'm Gabby Crevitt, and I'll let you know where some of the most accidents are happening in Gallatin County coming up.
Montana Tech continues to deal with dropping enrollment here on the Butte campus.
Dropping temperatures here in Montana today too. Meteorologist Matt Elwell joins us at 6:31. Burr, burr, burr. Dangerously cold outside.
Yeah. It really is, and we've been talking about it all morning. Bring your pets inside. It is dangerously cold. We'd like to see how cold it is in your backyard. Snap a photo, post it to our Facebook page. That's the easiest way to do it. It is cold out there. 13 below in Belgrade, 11 below in Butte. That only tells part of the story. The other part of the story, the wind chill. Wind chill temperatures nearly 30 below in Belgrade this morning. 18 below out toward West Yellowstone. Not a lot of wind in west. It's just cold. Temperature-wise, we're probably only making the mid-20s by the afternoon. A couple of areas may start to warm up a little later this week. We're going to talk more about your Halloween forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
not Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve forecast.
Right.
Yeah. Just double checking we're in the right month there. It is coming up at 6:32, and although it is a little bit better this morning, snow and ice on the roads have made for some treacherous driving conditions as of lately.
Yeah, especially in certain areas. MTN's Gabby Crevitt has more on some of the more dangerous spots.
Kevin, Caitlin, it happens every year. Some of these early snowstorms catch even the most experienced drivers off guard. I spoke with Montana Highway Patrol, and they shared with us some of the locations in Gallatin County that are seeing some of the most incidents.
The typical high volume roadways like Interstate 90, the commute from the Belgrade area into Bozeman in the morning.
These are just a few places in Gallatin County that have seen lots of accidents over the last few days.
The storm system kind of matched what the forecasters called for. The roads changed dramatically. The icy roadways were pretty much covered throughout the valley here.
According to the Montana Highway Patrol Incidents Report, there have been 41 accidents on I-90 in the Gallatin County area since Monday.
We're not one of the big urban areas, but Interstate 90 can come to a standstill. It shouldn't be a shock to anybody. You need to be prepared to be traveling down Interstate 90.
That means drivers should be increasing their following distance, reducing speed, and looking for hazards ahead. It also means drivers should make sure they have their snow tires on.
I have not changed to my winter tires quite yet.
These first snowstorms sometimes catch people off guard, but we need to prep for winter driving.
Montana Highway Patrol says that while conditions have improved, drivers should stay extra safe out there. And if you haven't put on your winter tires yet, it's definitely time to do that. Reporting in Bozeman, Gabby Crevitt, MTN News.
Now, as things get colder, chances for your pipes to freeze are increasing. That is, unless you take some preventative measures.
Hopefully you haven't seen anything like this in your home. Bozeman Water and Sewer Division says property damage like this happens when pipes burst, ruining your floors, carpets, even walls and electrical fixtures.
So the department is reminding everyone there are ways to prevent this from happening. Make sure you can get to your pipes, remove anything that could be blocking them off. Also make sure any heat tape is plugged in. Closing vents to your crawl space can also help make a difference.
I think everybody's experience that this cold has come a little bit sooner than we had anticipated, but it's Montana. Definitely this is a preventable thing, but if you can't prevent it, there are ways in which you can kind of troubleshoot it and thaw it yourself.
Now, the assistant superintendent of the department also says using a blow dryer and knowing how to turn off your water can also help. As for some home remedies for your frozen pipes.
In other news this morning at 6:34, the Butte Rescue Mission's new homeless shelter is open as a welcome respite during this frigid weather. That shelter received some donations of cash and supplies. The Ladies Auxiliary of the Veterans of Foreign Affairs donated $250 to the shelter, as well as blankets, bed sheets, and supplies. The VFW in Butte likes to make regular donations to the rescue mission to keep the shelter well supplied.
Our purpose is to serve the veterans, and a lot of them are homeless, and so this provides a place for them to stay and get their life together sometime.
Now, officials say that the donations are needed because the shelter is so busy this time of year and a little bit earlier than they're expecting as well.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Staying in the mining city, Montana Tech has just released its latest enrollment numbers, and the news is not so good.
Once again, enrollment is down, continuing a trend since 2011. MTN's John Amy has more.
Montana Tech's fall enrollment numbers have continued to slip since 2011 as the Butte campus reports another drop this fall.
It's not panic time, but there is a sense of urgency.
The school's fall enrollment is 2,421, which is down 162 students from last fall. This was not unexpected since student enrollment is down across the country.
We witnessed a demographic decline not only in Montana but nationwide.
Tech recently opened its Student Success Center this fall, which is one of many aspects university officials believe makes the Butte University attractive.
We have a very affordable tuition, and we know that the students that come here and go through our programs and graduate have incredible job opportunities that open up in front of them.
The campus has already hired 2 outside consulting agencies to work on marketing the campus and have put together 4 teams here on campus to come up with creative ways to tackle this enrollment issue.
Look at recruitment, to look at student success, to look at our marketing and messaging, and also to look at or to identify, what our campus looks like. How do we present ourselves?
In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
In other news, here on your very chilly Wednesday morning at 6:37, a public hearing for the Keystone Pipeline in Montana was held in Billings yesterday. The path of the pipeline route has shifted over the years due to lawsuits across the country.
The line would carry up to 830,000 barrels of crude oil per day from Canada to Gulf Coast refineries. Here in Montana, that pipeline crosses 6 counties, from Phillips County in the north to Fallon County on the southern border. It also features 6 proposed pump stations along the Montana route.
And yesterday's meeting was the public's first and only chance to meet and question the government officials about the project's new draft environmental impact statement.
MTN's Mitch Laggy shows us emotions ran high at the session.
About 3 dozen protesters gathered outside the convention center to voice their opposition of the Keystone XL pipeline. The protest was organized by the Northern Plains Resource Council, a group that has a long history protesting the pipeline.
And we're here today because we're standing together to say no. What are we here to say? No!
A large black stuffed snake was also paraded behind the podium, representing environmental pollution that could happen if the pipeline was constructed. After the short protest, some of those in opposition moved into the convention center to leave their comment. Some tried to move past the open house style meeting to actually use their voice instead of the written word to express their opinions and argue with Montana County officials.
When in America was it okay for eminent domain to be used for private gain? Under Article 6 of the United States Constitution, this is not consultation with the Great Sioux Nation. What are you literally, you're now making the Trump, right? The State Department's EIS said this was not in the public interest 3 separate times. 3.
As you could hear, people in opposition were very passionate about not wanting the pipeline's construction to move forward. This argument lasted about 7 minutes before it fizzled and everyone became quiet once again. Reporting in Billings, Mitch Laggy, MTN News.
In other news, following a national trend, Montana is facing an increase in the number of gonorrhea and syphilis cases.
So far this year, the statistics show a 27% increase in the number of people affected. Dr. Tondi Baumgartner says even expecting mothers can put their babies at risk if they fail to get tested for sexually transmitted disease. Pregnant women with an undiagnosed case of syphilis or gonorrhea can face health complications.
So it's really important that women in pregnancy get tested. And one of the important things to remember is that syphilis and gonorrhea are very easily treated with an antibiotic.
Baumgartner says that when it comes to STDs, it's much easier to treat them if you get help as soon as you think you may have been exposed.
And new today, Yellowstone National Park is seeking feedback on plans to replace an aging bridge over the Yellowstone River.
The bridge is located on the northeast entrance road near Tower Junction, built back in the 1960s as part of the only road corridor that's open year-round in the park. Its concrete deck, sidewalks, and long wall along the bridge have deteriorated. The park has 3 options. Those include constructing a new, larger bridge about 500 feet south of the current one, building a new bridge adjacent to the current one on the north side, or simply take no action at all. Decision on that project could be made by next summer. 6:40 now. Tricks arrived early for Tar Heel students this Halloween season. University of North Carolina students say dozens of people dressed as Spider-Man and invaded one of the libraries on campus on Tuesday night. They walked in, pretended to shoot spider webs, and then they left, the video shows. Some approached students, others pretended to hammer out some work on computers before quickly departing. UNC campus police says they hadn't heard about libraries being overrun by comic book characters before, and they don't believe any students were in danger. That's because Spider-Man was there.
Yeah, Spider-Man was hopefully helping.
Yeah, there you go.
On the desk, like shooting the web. Okay, time for a quick break. Let's take a look ahead on Montana this morning, as well as a preview for CBS this morning at 7.